And some people like the way that sounds. Man, I'm a member of a reactionary force. That's bad. That ain't good. To react means you engage in activity without thought. That's not good. You get people hurt like that. I don't want to be a part of a reactionary force. I want to be a part of a proactive force, a preventive force. The problems within our communities arise, brothers and sisters, when the social, political, and economic systems within our communities, which house our children live in, jeopardize the family's resources and create stress on the family unit. I'm convinced that if we could just find some kind of a way to provide the appropriate care required for our children and to our children, that this will have a great impact on their long-term physical, intellectual, and emotional well-being and their development into independent, healthy, and productive individuals. If we can keep in mind, and this is so important, if we can keep in mind that the offender of tomorrow, in fact, say this after me, the offender of tomorrow, will most likely be the vulnerable child of today. Okay? If we can remember that, it will help us to stay focused, man, on doing what we need to do. To see to it that our children keep their arm out of the lion's mouth. There are 3 major steps into prevention. Write these down, please, as I close. Give me about another 10 minutes. I should be finished with this, I hope. The 3 major steps in prevention is primary prevention, secondary prevention, and tertiary prevention. Again, primary, secondary, and tertiary. Tertiary means third or 3. Let me explain them to you. What is meant by primary prevention? Primary prevention efforts try to ensure the health of our community as a whole by attempting to stop adverse conditions from developing in the first place. That's primary prevention. Again, primary prevention in a nutshell is stopping adverse conditions before they even get started. That's what we got to do. Programs that address parenting skills. Wouldn't it be great, y'all, if we could find some people? Come on, be honest with you right now. We ain't going to find, the government is not going to fund, oh, this is some deep stuff. The government is not going to give us a grant to cancel out their agenda. Y'all understand this? These people are in business. So the government is not going to give the African village a grant to put programs in place for primary prevention. They're not going to do that. So how are we going to fund it? How are we going to fund primary prevention? We have to do it ourselves. Exactly. But how serious are we about that? Because see, being that we have to do it ourselves, we seemingly can't come up with the money to do what we need to do. I mean, we can't come up with the money to do our basic operational things. How are we going to fund a program? So you know what has to happen? We have to have volunteers. But you know the bad thing about volunteers? I'm going to tell you the difference between, and I really mean this with all my heart. I'm speaking now from experience. I didn't read what I'm about to tell you. I'm speaking now from approximately 34 years of pastoral ministry experience. I have found that volunteers come when they will. Volunteers are, well, I can't come this week. I got to do this. I enrolled in this program and You know, I know I said I'd be there for this, but this done came up. See, that's what happened with volunteer service. We ain't got the funds to hire people, because then we can say you fired for not showing up. And here's deep, because when we hire our own, we show up late anyway. I'm telling you from my experience, man. You know? Oh, pastor, he'll understand. He'll understand. You know, pastor's cool like that. He'll understand. You know, he's cool like that. You know, if you get there a half hour or 2 hours late, it's okay, because the pastor's cool like that. You know. That's the kind of discipline that I've seen among us as a people. You know? We allow everything else to get ahead of what we say we are committed to. And then people like me have to sit back and say thank you for whenever you show up. When deep down inside, the real me want to come up with some other words. But if I come up with them words, then I know I won't see you at all. It's the deep stuff, man, because in my years, I remember we had this lady called Ruth Mollendijk. And I'm going to be totally honest with you, I think Ruth Mollendijk was really the only white person that I ever loved. I really mean that with all my heart. This lady was a volunteer worker. You know how the white churches in urban, out in the white communities, send their little volunteer workers in to help little black churches in urban America? You know, and they call that missionary work. You know, you understand what I'm saying? You know, they want to come and help the Negroes. You know, well, this one lady came from Hawthorne Community Church, Ruth Mollendijk. And she came down. She was a volunteer worker at my mom's daycare center. And y'all know what's deep about it? This lady didn't get paid a dime. She was always the first person to work at my mom's daycare center. When my mom get there to open up, she'd be sitting outside in her car. Why do they like to get to work early? Why do they like to get to work early? And you know what? And she was the last person to leave at the end of the day. You know? And this lady worked with my mom for 12 years, every day. Full time, because she was a retired school teacher, on a volunteer basis. Every day, Elder Lucas. And one day she announced to us that the doctors told her she had lung cancer because of, what's that stuff in the basement? Asbestos poisoning. And when that lady died, I actually felt a loss, because here we had somebody who never got a dime. And we had people on payroll who would call in sick, take off work, because they had something else they needed to do. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Yes. Primary prevention can be the most cost-effective method of dealing with our problems if we can stop it before it starts. Stop it before it starts. Stop it before it starts. That's primary prevention. Well, if primary prevention doesn't work, guess what? The secondary prevention then kicks in. Secondary prevention attempts to stop a crime from occurring after certain warning signs have taken place. Now let me show you how this works. Think about it. Just think back with me. Those of you who have suffered criminal activity within your family, think back with me. You saw it coming. Don't lie and say you didn't see it coming. You saw it coming when they would defy you. When you'd say, I want you here at this time, and they didn't show up at that time. You saw it coming. You saw it coming by behavioral patterns. You saw it coming by the look in their eyes. When you saw it, you could tell they were doing drugs. You saw it coming when your child came in the house with all this money in their pocket and they had no job. Those are the warning signs. Mothers, you see it coming when your daughter starts walking a certain kind of way.